Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. So you will have probably heard before, and most often, if you've heard this, you've probably discarded this statement as something that's a little too rough to swallow. But as we all continue going forward on this path, it appears to be more and more true every day, and that is, there are no victims, only volunteers. And that, my friends, is a rough one. But it's only rough because people jump to this stance where they're like, oh, well, what about, women that are SA'd or whatnot? Stop volunteering to get SA'd. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist anymore to get that this is actually legit. Like, don't volunteer to be a victim of somebody else's inability to delay gratification. Don't do it. If you're some weak-ass chick, don't be putting yourself in positions where people can hurt you. Don't play dumb. Don't be dumb. Now that we got that out of the way, if you're a dude, which the majority of you are, it's going to be a lot easier for you to understand this and accept this, because it obviously on its face is just a statement about personal accountability and responsibility. So that right there almost guarantees that if you're a woman, you're not going to be able to swallow this harsh but very healthy pill that will unlock some of your God-given gifts and promote your abilities to be successful in life in every endeavor that you decide to take on. So there really are no victims. There's only volunteers. And I'm sorry that it has to be that way. I didn't make the rules. I just work here. So one of the things that you're absolutely going to... If you're a religious person, you can understand you've been commanded by God to do this. If you're not a religious person, that's cool. You're going to understand that the more you choose to do this, the better things are going to be for you in an overall sense throughout your life. And that is, you are absolutely required or commanded to course correct as you go through life. So what does that mean? That means you have to be able to self-reflect and look at where you're making mistakes, and then appropriately change your behavior so that you're not continuously doubling down on these mistakes and doing the same dumb thing over and over and over again. This goes without saying. For most people that have common sense, we teach this to little children. It's amazing that there's such an epidemic of grown adults that pretend like they don't know this shit. Mostly women, okay, yeah. But this also is widespread with men. And so making observations is key. You can't fool yourself into believing silly fantasies. It's very important to learn to kind of detach yourself from the circumstances. That doesn't mean you didn't create these circumstances for yourself, because you did. But in order to accurately self-reflect and then accurately analyze, plan, and then execute a new strategy, you're going to have to detach yourself from the circumstances and be outcome independent so that you can think your way through some of this stuff. People like to be like, oh, this is clown world and everything sucks and everything's falling apart and all this, and that's a cop-out, man. That's bullshit. We don't live in clown world. This is just how things are. All the shitty things in your life, that's just how it is, man. And you're volunteering for this. Every step you take, you have to be responsible for that. So some of the harsh truths that you're going to come across that you're not going to want to actually internalize is there's no such thing as love from a woman. It's only an imbalance of power. The dynamic is totally insane. And if you commit yourself to a woman, you're submitting yourself to her. And by default, she's going to hate you because you are behaving in defiance of God. Even if you don't believe in God and she doesn't believe in God, it doesn't matter. The way you are created is that you are never, under any circumstances, ever allowed to submit to a woman. Ever. 0%. If you do this 1%, then she will hate you 1% because she can't trust you. You are proving all of her worst nightmares to be true. So stop. Don't expect a woman to love you. It will not happen. She may act as if and say that she does, but she doesn't. You are a resource in every sense of the word. And in order to make that a profitable engagement for the both of you, you cannot submit to her. So don't commit to her, because if you do that, you're already ruining it for the both of you. So stop. It's a complete fail. You're in defiance of God, and you will be punished for that. And it will happen probably a lot quicker and a lot worse than you think. So yeah, you'll be immersed in this experience throughout your life. Only the egregious sin of doubling down on bad decisions will keep your eyes closed to the truth. Your church, your school, your parents, they all fucking lied to you. Every woman you've ever been with lied to you. And every time you ignored that feeling in your stomach, you doubled down. And you'll get exactly what you're paying for. It will happen. And you can avoid it by not doubling down on shitty decisions. So that, my friends, is the key. If you can course correct as you go through life, make the right observations, don't fool yourself into believing this fantasy bullshit, you'll make it out a whole lot better with a whole lot less damage. You'll be happier. Back when I was doing, well, whatever, that doesn't matter. You'll add life to the years and years to the life. We're talking about you. We're talking about your life. If you want to add years to your life and add life to those years, there's a simple way to do that. And that is, do not submit to a woman, any woman. It doesn't matter who it is. You cannot do that. And what that means is, I'm sorry to tell you, but you cannot commit to a woman. So don't. What do you mean? Do you mean to string women along for the rest of my life? If that's how you want to put it, that's how you put it. That's not how I'm putting it. Okay? I can't just tell you in a short YouTube video exactly how to live your life. But what I can tell you is that the chances that you're breaking all the fucking rules to the game are very high. And all you have to do to improve your situation is stop breaking all the rules to the game. Things will improve for you very quickly. Your interpersonal relationships will get better. Your finances will get better. Your energy level will get better. You'll sleep better at night. You'll feed yourself better. It just compounds. All these wonderful things compound on top of each other, and you'll be a stronger, better, healthier man. And there will be higher quality women that want to use you as a resource. And then you can pick and choose through these and find one or however many you think you want to deal with. And then as long as you don't commit to them and submit to them, you can probably have a lifelong healthy relationship. It's not that tough. If you start trying to convince yourself that she's different, bro, you're cooked. She's not different. She'll tell you exactly who she is. She'll wear makeup. She'll advertise her genitals. She'll play the victim. She'll play stupid. She'll play helpless damsel. All of this is a complete lie, and it's a sin against her for you to believe it and participate in the charade. It's a sin against her, right? If she's pretending to be stupid and you participate in that charade, you are killing her. And she will hate you for it. I hope you see how simple this is. I'm not saying that she's wrong. I'm not like passing out negative judgment on these chicks that do this, which is all of them. I'm just saying this is how it works. It's okay, man. It's okay. You don't have to get mad at her for being like this or try to punish her for being like this. That doesn't work. The only positive, fruitful behavior that you can engage in is getting a very crystal clear understanding of how this works, and then playing the game in such a way that you may achieve victory. You want to play and win, I can help you with that. It's so easy. It's difficult once you start to learn about this stuff. It's painful. You have to let your old ideas die. You have to bury them completely. You have to probably, just like a drug addict going through rehab, you probably relapse and have to go back and kind of reconfirm some of this stuff because you're going to be like, no, this one's different. It's going to be all right. The prescription here is complete mindfulness of the present moment with no concern for the past or the future. If you can just be in the moment, that's going to be very, very beneficial for you. So yeah, you'll be amazed at the amount of women that are going to try to approach you and align themselves with you once you can kind of learn all this stuff and you stop trying to submit to them. Now, of course, you can't say this shit to them. Okay? That's going to ruin all of this that you're trying to be successful at. It's going to ruin it all. So you can't say this to these chicks. Okay? They're not in a position to have that conversation with you. Okay? If you're going to try to hold women accountable, you're a fool. Don't do that. Oh man, that hurts, right? I know. I bet I say this to you because I've been there. I don't think I'm better than you. I've made all these mistakes, and these videos that I'm making are, they're intended for everyone, but they're most specifically intended for other guys that are perhaps younger than me. I'm 45, and that are trying to be successful with relationships, trying to actually have a family, trying to enter into this potential dangerous minefield of navigating relationships with women and come out the other end of it without being bankrupt, without losing your business, without having children and then having them taken away from you, without being dragged through court, all of the horror stories that are more likely to occur than not, right? So the best thing you can do the safest, okay, not best, but the safest thing you can do is avoid women as much as possible and be hypercritical of any of the women that you allow to come within your breathing radius, okay? It's much safer to just engage with prostitutes than what you would consider normal women, okay? It's much safer. It's much cheaper. It's much more efficient. It is much more respectable in this day and age. I hate to say this to you, man. I really do, because you have to really burn your image of your mother, your sisters, your daughters, all of the women that you've been with, and you have to realize, like, the way this goes now with social media, modern day women, their fucking joke of an education that they get, our cultural influences on them. It's very important to understand the legal system and all of the catastrophic ramifications that go along with entering into any kind of relationship with a woman. It is much safer to deal with very attractive prostitutes than to go anywhere near a normal chick. Okay? That doesn't mean it's better for you. It doesn't mean it's healthier for you. It potentially could be. Okay? But it is unarguable that it is much safer for you. It's safer to engage with prostitutes than a normal woman. Okay? I'm sorry. I just work here, man. What else do we have for you today? So yeah, if you have any trouble realizing any of this stuff to be true, the worst thing you can do is just go out and enter into relationships carelessly with any of the women that will allow you to enter into relationships with them. That'll destroy you very quickly and very completely. If you think what I'm saying is a bunch of BS, there's plenty of books written on this. There's plenty of people that are psychological industry professionals that will confirm all of this for you. There's personality disorder testing materials that you can download for free. Take them yourself, figure out how fucked up you are, and then learn to identify that in the women that you're going to deal with. And if you do any amount of research on this, the best place to start is the legal system. Okay? So if you're in a relationship with a woman of any kind, this is what I'm saying, do not commit to them. You cannot. It's a legal status, okay, that you do not want to be in. It's kind of like if you just decided, fuck all the rules, I'm going to try to open a business with no business license. I'm going to try to enact business transactions without having any kind of insurance. I'm going to try to drive around with no driver's license. Just the dumbest shit. And I don't give a shit how you feel about paying the government for a driver's license or paying for business licenses or having to carry insurance or whatever. You can debate all this shit, but you can't avoid it. You can't avoid the consequences of getting caught doing all this shit without participating in the system that you're required to participate in order to do all this shit. So if you want to have a business, go for it, bro. You wouldn't just jump into that without actually trying to complete the correct steps in the process. I'm sure you get it. So the safest thing you can do until you have fully internalized the dark side of women that has been hidden from you, the safest thing you can do is engage in nothing that has to do with women. The second most safest thing you can do is hire a hooker, bro. Okay? Way, way safer for you. And I'm not saying that you should do that. I actually think that you shouldn't. But I'm not retarded, and I wouldn't pretend that this isn't the situation at hand. So yeah, I'm not prescribing for you to go hire hookers. I'm just saying this is how crazy this shit is. It's safer for you to hire hookers than allow a chick to go around saying that she's your girlfriend, or like write that and put it on the internet somewhere so that it can be used against you in court going forward, or letting a girl come over to your house and spend the night. God forbid, like, leave some of her belongings there, like a toothbrush or some shit. Fuck. Yeah, if you're doing that shit, stop. Stop. Stop it. So some tips, right? If she went to college, delete her number. If she's over 25, delete her number. If she's competitive, delete her number. If her parents are divorced, delete her number. You want to look for things like she goes to the gym and she doesn't dress like a prostitute when she goes to the gym. That, I know this is very difficult to find, almost non-existent. Again, man, I didn't make the rules. I didn't make it this way. I didn't create these problems. I've just been through these things and can tell you what lies on the other side of making these terrible decisions and then performing the behaviors that you think are going to be appropriate once you've made these terrible decisions. Don't catch yourself up in these massive, complicated, terrible situations. It's so easy to avoid all this shit that there's really no excuse anymore. If you're one of these guys that's just decided to like isolate yourself and not deal with women, okay, man, that's not gonna solve anything. You're exactly the type of guy that we need to have children so that we can eliminate these poisonous women and replicate healthy human beings going forward. Okay? So it doesn't help anyone. Like, we're all connected, bro. We're all in the same... We're in this together. We can't disconnect from one another. No matter how much you try, you can't. So it doesn't make any sense to really put a lot of energy into doing that. That doesn't mean I don't understand. But I'm just being honest with you, man. Isolating yourself is not gonna work. If you have looked into this dark abyss of what goes on with women, then you decided to isolate yourself. I mean, I get it. I applaud you. You're not a fool. I would also implore you to reconsider your decision. Because I have determined that you, if you have identified all this and then been like, holy shit, I don't want anything to do with that. Good. Good. There's another step that you need to take, and that is you can't avoid it. You can't. So what are you doing that's ruining you? Well, you're trying to hold women accountable. That's not going to happen. You're also trying to find a woman that you could commit to and then live out this fantasy of like being in love and having this like relationship that they told you you were going to have since you were like a little boy. That's not going to work either. That doesn't exist. That's not on the table. What does exist is an overabundance of women. Okay? What also exists is one singular software program that has been installed in all of them. So once you get how this works, it is so easy to win the game. So easy. Okay? Probably half of the women that you end up connecting with in a meaningful way, that you decide to have children with, they're going to kill your children. If you factor in the percentage that are going to kill off your children, in addition to the percentage that are going to have your child and then decide that they want to bail on you and kidnap your children and use the court system against you and all that, it's north of 75%. So in order for you to be able to have a child that you get to maintain a relationship with and raise, you're going to probably have to have 4 children. Okay? So do with that what you will. But having 0 children doesn't solve it. You've decided to become a genetic dead end for your family line, which is completely deplorable. You're a fucking idiot if that's what you're deciding to do. And all of your ancestors are looking at you with great disappointment from the afterlife, like you are a bitch. They weren't. You are. If you're going to have 0 children, you are a fucking loser. Don't be a bitch-made loser. Find some of these chicks that will have your children and have children. They are dumber than you. They are unable to overcome their programming, which makes them attempt self-destruction all day, every day. They can't fucking fix it. Okay? Don't be mad about it and get real fucking like butthurt. Is it ideal? No, man. Is it normal? Yes. Yes. It's totally normal. Are they all like that? Yes. They are all like that. Are they going to kill off your child before it's born? Yes. Yes, they will. If they decide to allow the child to be born, are they going to allow you to raise the child? No. More often than not, the chances that the child will make it to being born is very low. The chances that they're going to allow you to raise the child after that are very low. The best thing you can do is try to account for that in the beginning and vet for that. The less makeup she wears, the better. Right? What does this also mean? Is there just an overabundance of beautiful, attractive, soft women all over the place? No. No. Most of them are fat slobs. Most of them. So you're going to have to look around and find the ones that aren't like really overly obese and disgusting. Does that mean she's going to have like a dime piece, beautiful face? No. It's okay, man. She doesn't have to be a 10. At this point, it's better for you to try to go get 11 ones or 5 twos. Okay? Sorry, dude. There's an overabundance of 1s and 2s and 3s. There's not even that many 4s anymore. Okay? I hate to admit it, man. I've seen it go down just in my own life. I'm old enough where I was around before the internet and women were way, way better looking. Way better looking. It's all right. It doesn't take you any more pumps to get a 1 or a 2 pregnant. And the chances that one of these 1s or 2s is going to maybe actually not try to burn you to the ground are much higher than if you just keep trying to impregnate the 5s and above. Show these ones and twos a little bit of love, bro. But if they're morbidly obese and disgusting, don't. Right? Find the ones and twos that aren't morbidly obese and then get them on your team. And then if you have like 11 of those, the chances that you can actually have like 2 or 3 children that grow up and love you and will be by your bedside when you die so you're not alone, the chances of that go exponentially higher. So dude, like, what do you think? You think all these stories about all these great men from the past that had harems of women and thousands of concubines and all this shit, you think they were all dimes? You crazy, man. They weren't. Okay? They weren't at all. And that's not what was going on. These guys were dealing with maybe one dime, and she was a pain in the ass. So they had 300 ones and twos that they would go spend time with because their dime piece chick was such a fucking waste of energy to hang out with. Come on, bro. Don't play yourself. Okay, so I'm not telling you to hire prostitutes. I'm telling you it's safer than dealing with regular chicks. I'm not telling you to just bail and isolate yourself. I'm telling you that's a massive L. Don't do that to yourself. That's fucking ridiculous, man. So find some chicks that are the least competitive with you that you can possibly find. Those are going to be the best ones. If they're competing with you, they think they're better than you. Don't put your dick in those chicks. Let them die off. You don't have to do anything. Just stop buying them food and putting your dick in them. Stop it. And if you've already stopped, good. Well done, bro. Now, go find the ones and twos that aren't fat slobs and start working on your game. I'm just giving you cheat codes to life, bro. Nothing but love. I hope y'all have a great day. If you need help, holler at me in the comments or send me a DM. I can give you some help. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. All we do is win.